Once the design of a character is complete, it needs a performer to bring it to life. In animation, casting the animator to a role is as important as casting the actor in a live-action film. So, Jared and I actually co-performed the role of Sarah Hawkins in Treasure Planet. Jared, wonderful job.
And you know, we cast the animators for their characters based on their own personality. You've got somebody like Glenn Keane, who's an outgoing, gregarious, bold, expressive guy, and if you just watch him literally doing a drawing, he draws the way the character plays. John Ripa, who's doing Jim, is more internalized and neurotic, and he's kind of hesitant about his drawing, and you know, kind of doesn't necessarily want you to see it, and is kind of guarded. And you've got somebody like Ken Duncan, who's doing Amelia, who has this very elegant thing, and he's a very elegant draftsman. And even the physical act of animating on this film, I think, sort of reflected their personalities.
Fascinating. Animators are the actors who perform on the sweeping stage of Treasure Planet.
His name is Dr. Dilbert Doppler, as his full name, and he's sort of the comic relief, one of the comic reliefs in the film. What did really appeal to me was Doppler was this nerd, basically. He's a bookworm, and it was the most lengthy process I've done so far for designing a character. Because now you have the option of whether or not these characters are humans or aliens. And I even did some tests with him as a human, and they kept pushing, no, I think we gotta use the chance to do something more original. So I said, okay, how can I make him look 80% human and 20% dog, and still be able to perform without making the dog thing an obstacle towards the animation. For his face, I just basically elongated his nose and made it half a muscle, because his chin still remains a human chin, but his nose sticks out, gave him the droopy ears. I'd say hands, nose, and ears is everything he has that could be related to a dog. Now I think we're definitely giving the impression that we're in a different universe.
With Silver, the fact that he was an alien is interesting, but you've got to go somewhere further with him. And from the original book, he had a peg leg. What would the modern version of that be? Well, why not make it a sideboard? Instead of just a peg leg, then how about a mechanical arm and part of his head as well? I mean, how much can we do the CG blending of the traditional? It's something we'd never tried before, where you actually blend the hand-drawn and the CG. Probably the most rewarding part of it to me is to see how seamless the traditional and the CG work together.
Jimbo! Now don't be too put off by this hunk of hardware. You see. Whoa! Jimbo! Now don't be too put off by this hunk of hardware. You see. Whoa! Jimbo! Now don't be too put off by this hunk of hardware. You see. Whoa! Jimbo! Now don't be too put off by this hunk of hardware. You see. Whoa! Jimbo! Now don't be too put off by this hunk of hardware. Whoa!
We weren't sure for the whole film whether to go with alien-type creatures or more human-type characters for everyone. Some of my early designs for Amelia were of a real woman with sort of a bald head with tentacles for hair. It was kind of fun looking, but it really didn't work for the character, the personality. Being the captain of the ship, she's a bit more stoic and a bit sort of subtle and quiet, with the ability to act and react quickly. So being a cat would have been much more of an interesting character, sort of the personality of a cat who's sort of looking out of the corner of her eye over at what's going on, and then being able to react very cat-like to certain situations. I like the subtlety in a lot of her acting and a lot of her barbs towards Doppler. So it was fun from an acting standpoint to animate Amelia.
To mule and blabber about a treasure map in front of this particular crew demonstrates a level of ineptitude that borders on the imbecilic, and I mean that in a very caring way.
Imbecilic, did you say? Foolishness, I've got...
Have you? Well, no, foolishness simply doesn't cover it. May I see the map, please?
Yeah, here.
Fascinating. Mr. Hawkins, in the future you will address me as Captain or Ma'am. Is that clear?
Yeah, whatever. Yes, sir.
Mr. Hawkins.
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That'll do. Gentlemen, this must be kept under lock and key when not in use. And Doctor, again, with the greatest possible respect, zip your howling screamer.
Captain, I assure you...
Let me make this as monosyllabic as possible. I don't much care for this crew you hired. They're... how did I describe them? I don't know. I said something rather good this morning before coffee.
A ludicrous parcel of drivelling galoots, ma'am.
There you go. Poetry.
Usually on DVD, on the bonus material and things like that, you get a comparison between the storyboards and the final look in the film. In this case, since Treasure Planet is so rich in animation, we decided to show a comparison between the rough animation and the final film. So hope you enjoy.
Oh, this is fantastic! A carbon-based life form come to rescue me at last! I just want to hug you and squeeze you and hold you close to me. All right. Oh.
Just let go of me?
Oh, sorry. It's just... I've been marooned for so long. I mean, solitude's fun. Don't get me wrong. For heaven's sakes, after 100 years, you go a little nuts! I'm sorry. My name is... Ben! Of course I'm Ben! The bioelectronic navigator. Oops. And you are?
Jim.
Oh, what a pleasure to meet you, Jimmy.
It's Jim.
Anyway.
Look, I'm kind of in a hurry, okay? I gotta find a place to hide, and there's pirates chasing me.
Pirates! Don't get me started on pirates! I don't like them. I remember Captain Flint. This guy had such a temper.
Wait. You knew Captain Flint?
I think he suffered from mood swings. Personally, I'm not a therapist in any way. But you let me know when I'm rambling.